Hi, this is Paul Karp, Director of Research at GreenBiz, and I'm here with Paul Stith, Director of Strategy and Innovation at Black and Veatch. Paul, thanks for coming to GreenBiz Studio.
Great. Super pleased to be here, by the way. I've been coming to GreenBiz since in the Verge since like 2011. So
you're a longtime Verge alum. So tell us what you've seen. What's changed since 2011 and 2018 in this ecosystem of electrification, which is what you're focused on.
Sure. And I'm going to take a little personal journey for 1 second. So I got into this space just through our own choices. So we got a Nissan Leaf back in 2011. The car could barely go 70, 80 miles. Now we've got a Bolt that can go 238 miles. So the progress on batteries, on electrification, it parallels our personal journey, that basically we don't really worry about charging anymore. But when you do need to fill, you've got a larger battery and it has requirements to fill it up. So that trend has followed those years at Verge to where all these new things are opening up, which is super exciting. Yep.
And Black and Veatch is sort of behind the scenes doing a lot of different work in this space, but in the power space, in water, in transportation. So tell us about some of the interesting projects that you're focused on right now.
Sure. So I mean, we do have a 2-letter domain name. We've been around for 104 years, but sometimes we are like this startup that folks haven't been introduced to us. So usually someone really knows Black and Veatch, or they've never heard of us. So in this space, we've been working since like 2012, 13, and it really was looking at things that are going to be higher power and are going to need to scale rapidly across the whole country. So one of our top candidates in that kind of a zone would be Tesla. We've done a tremendous amount of work for Tesla, where we've got over like 600 of their sites that we've been part of across the country. So high power, rapid deployment. Another one we're working on is, more recently can announce, is Electrify America. So we're working across the country, 340 some odd stations, and that's just the first round of investment from Electrify America. So pretty cool.
And so this infrastructure it's happening in phases, but it seems to be happening really quickly. Is it, are we moving fast enough to accommodate the influx of demand for electric vehicles? And what can we do to move faster?
So yes, and always faster. So in terms of accommodating the personal vehicle space, I mean, the one thing is there are multitude of options of where they can charge. So we're talking about corridor charging, we're talking about high speed to enable long distance travel. We're also talking about enabling it for consumers that don't have a place to charge at home. So they'll have a larger battery, they can come and top it off in kind of a gulping sense of energy, and they can also sip at workplaces and things like that. So we see that space moving along rather well, and I think keeping pace. There's like 1 million EVs on the road in the United States now, just recently now, so it's moving fast. Where we see challenges are going to be these high density urban hubs, where we're going to see a tremendous trajectory in electrification. So getting ahead of those kinds of sites, and those are like 1/4 megawatt to 2 megawatt, 5 or 10 megawatts of power that's going to be needed in one place. And so those applications are going to need more planning, and we do need to get ahead of them.
So these are power plant size influxes of power in one small concentrated corridor.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they start to look like solar plants, but in, of course, the reverse direction. Data centers, things that go in the multi-megawatt tiers, and it's not that the power grid can't accommodate it, but it certainly needs time for these acute uses. You're not able to relocate a transit facility, for example. You're going to need to look at how to bring power there. New York City is a particular project. They have 38 of these depots in Manhattan and Brooklyn and Queens. How are they going to bring in 5 extra megawatts or 10 to these facilities? Needs some work, needs some planning.
So are there particular markets or regions that you think are taking off quickly, and how is Black and Veatch working on the policy front to support some of these initiatives?
Sure. So clearly the coasts, clearly the ZEV zones, so California and the 11, 12 states that are part of that policy framework are where the density is. But in honesty, building charging where the cars aren't has been a strategy to pull the drivers forward. So in the middle of the country, if you look at the Tesla map, Electrify America map, just giving that assurance that this is coming to your community, there's charging available, you can make that long distance trip. So that's certainly happening. On the policy front, I would say we're a little bit more behind the scenes, but rather and a little bit more active, I would say, on standards development. So high power charging development right now for Class 8 trucks. There's an initiative right now to take not only 350 kW, but go to 1.5 or 2 megawatts per charger. So we're very active in that.
Great. And is there just one sort of moonshot or a kind of bigger, longer term project that you're really excited about and that could really move the needle here?
So at Verge, the amazing thing is to talk about what's next, what's here, what's technically. I mentioned about the batteries growing, so that's going to turn on some new markets. We're seeing electric flight. We're super excited about some of the work we're doing in eVTOL. So high density charging power needed for vehicles that are going to take off from rooftops or rural airports. We're also super excited, and it's linear construction, long speed, high speed travel, Hyperloop. So at Verge, we're talking about some of those things that we're doing, just kind of like a little bit of opening up the jacket as to what does Black and Veatch working on that's a cutting edge. Super excited.
Well, great, Paul. With that, I want to thank you for coming into GreenBiz Studio and hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Yep, fantastic. Thank you.